What if the house you always dreamed of, the one you pictured yourself living in forever, ended up in the hands of your biggest rival? That's exactly the nightmare Meghan Markle allegedly faced. And it didn't just sting. It spiraled into what insiders are calling one of her biggest meltdowns yet. But here's the twist. This story isn't really about real estate. It's about power, status, and who's really winning the royal war. Forest Lodge isn't just a house. It's basically the royal version of winning the lottery. Picture this: a sprawling estate inside Windsor Great Park, with lakes big enough to sail on, tennis courts that scream Wimbledon vibes, and rose gardens that look straight out of a fairy tale. Oh, and 8 bedrooms just in case you want to host an entire reality show cast under one roof. But here's where it gets juicy. William and Catherine didn't just get this place, they bought it with their own money. No taxpayer funds, no royal allowance, not even a dime of Netflix cash. Just a quiet private purchase, paid for in full. And believe me, that little detail sent shockwaves through Montecito. Why? Because Meghan had her eyes on Forest Lodge years ago, back when she and Harry were still half-in, half-out royals. This was her dream property, the house she imagined sipping organic tea in while planning her next big media move. To her, it wasn't just a house, it was the crown jewel. So when the news broke that Catherine was the one moving in, let's just say it hit like a thunderclap. But that's not all. Meghan's reaction wasn't just disappointment. According to insiders, what came next was full-on obsession. Sources say Meghan's reaction was anything but calm. Forget yoga breathing and positive energy. Allegedly, she went into what staff have started calling comparison overdrive. Every little detail about Forest Lodge became her new obsession. The square footage, the fireplaces, even the wallpaper Catherine might be picking out. It wasn't just envy, it was like watching someone scroll Zillow at 3 a.m., except with royal rage in the mix. And then there's Harry. Instead of cooling things down, insiders claim he's playing the role of professional complainer. Apparently, he's been pacing around Montecito muttering, "It should have been us. They always get everything." Imagine that. Catherine gets a $16 million estate, and Meghan gets Instagram pasta tutorials. William gets applause, Harry gets, well, another Netflix project no one really asked for. But here's where it really gets brutal. Catherine isn't even flaunting her win. No interviews, no tell-all podcasts, no dramatic sit-down documentaries. She just bought the house, paid for it, and moved in, like an actual royal is supposed to. That quiet grace? In the court of public opinion, it was basically a mic drop. And Meghan, well, she allegedly couldn't stand it, which led her to an even more desperate move. When Meghan can't win the real estate game, insiders say she tries to flip the script. Literally. Reports claim she started pitching Netflix with brand new content ideas, all conveniently linked back to Forest Lodge. Think titles like The Royal Home That Got Away or How I Almost Became Queen of Windsor. Yes, you heard that right. She allegedly turned her dream house loss into a reality TV storyline. And the ideas didn't stop there. One pitch was described as a mini-series on historic homes that define history, starting with surprise, surprise, Forest Lodge. Another, even wilder concept, a tongue-in-cheek comparison of palaces versus mansion. Basically, imagine Meghan explaining why her Montecito kitchen island is somehow the modern royal symbol. But here's the problem. The more she brainstorms, the more effortless Catherine looks. While Meghan's allegedly sketching out storyboards and trying to cash in on her heartbreak, Catherine's just quietly picking wallpaper and sipping tea in her new garden. And ironically, that silence, it's louder than any Netflix docuseries could ever be. But that's not all, because the public quickly noticed the difference and the reaction was savage. Here's where things get downright painful. The public loves Forest Lodge, not just because it's beautiful, but because of how William and Catherine got it. No drama, no begging for sympathy, no hidden Netflix cameras, just a quiet private purchase paid for in full. That's the kind of royal behavior people admire. Catherine's approval ratings skyrocketing. Every photo of her near that estate gets showered with glowing headlines about modern monarchy and quiet grace. Meanwhile, Meghan's TikTok fandom is stuck arguing with royal historians in the comments section about whether she deserved Forest Lodge in the first place. And here's the kicker. This wasn't even a battle. Catherine didn't snatch the house away. She didn't shade Meghan. She didn't even try to compete. She just lived her life, and in doing so, scored a win that Meghan has allegedly been chasing for years. Elegance, stability, and a narrative the public actually believes. But that wasn't the end of it, because insiders claim Meghan's obsession with Forest Lodge only grew darker, turning every update from Windsor into fuel for her frustration. According to insiders, Meghan's fixation with Forest Lodge didn't stop at jealousy. It became a full-blown obsession. Every time a new photo or update leaked from Windsor, she allegedly dissected it like a royal detective. How many acres? How many fireplaces? Did Catherine order custom drapes or just restoration hardware? It wasn't just curiosity, it was envy dressed up as research. Behind closed doors, Meghan was reportedly muttering about symmetry, prestige, and yes, even who deserved the bigger kitchen island. And here's where it gets almost tragic. Forest Lodge wasn't even framed as a flex. William and Catherine didn't need to campaign for it. They didn't beg for permission. They didn't spin it as a new chapter. They simply bought it, paid, moved in. Meanwhile, Meghan and Harry once spent $2.5 million renovating Frogmore Cottage, a property that wasn't even close in scale, and the press roasted them for weeks. Now, they're watching William and Catherine claim a $16 million dream estate, while the public applauds from every corner of the UK. That contrast? It wasn't just about houses anymore. It was about perception, and that, more than anything, is what reportedly drove Meghan over the edge. But things were about to get worse, because Harry wasn't exactly helping calm the storm. In the world of royals, silence is louder than any headline, and Catherine has mastered it like no one else. While Meghan has spent years giving interviews, recording podcasts, and producing documentaries to tell her side of the story, Catherine has quietly perfected the art of doing nothing. No long rants, no veiled jabs, no subtle digs disguised as empowerment speeches, just quiet grace. And that silence, it's driving Meghan up the wall. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Every time Meghan makes noise, Catherine wins by simply staying still. When Meghan dropped her Netflix docuseries, critics blasted it as overproduced and self-serving. Meanwhile, Catherine made headlines just for showing up to a charity event in a recycled dress. One worked for months on a scripted production. The other got praised for sipping tea in her garden. Insiders say Meghan can't figure it out. How can someone who does less get more praise? How can Catherine's simple move into Forest Lodge be celebrated as tasteful and regal, while Meghan's every property move is painted as flashy or opportunistic? The answer is in the optics. Catherine doesn't look like she's trying. Meghan always does. And here's where it stings most. Catherine didn't buy Forest Lodge to make a statement. She didn't intend it as a power play. But by simply moving in, she checked off every box Meghan had been chasing for years. Status, elegance, permanence, and above all, public approval. That's why Forest Lodge isn't just a house. It's a scoreboard. And right now, Catherine's side of it is glowing, while Meghan's looks more like a losing streak. But the story doesn't end with optics, because Meghan's obsession allegedly pushed her into plotting an even bolder redemption. Insiders claim Meghan isn't just stewing, she's scheming. Behind closed doors, she's reportedly been scripting her own comeback arc, complete with docuseries ideas and lifestyle projects designed to rewrite the narrative. One concept, a glossy show on reinvention, turning her Montecito mansion into the stage for her version of royal life. Another, a cheeky take on palaces versus modern mansions, where, surprise, her California kitchen island plays the starring role. The goal is clear. If she can't own Forest Lodge, she'll try to make Montecito look like the cooler, trendier version. Marble countertops, curated bookshelves, cozy but regal lighting, a brand new aesthetic that screams prestige instead of pity. But here's the catch. People aren't buying it. The internet is tired of the spin. Fans and critics alike are starting to notice the pattern. Every time Catherine wins quietly, Meghan responds loudly. And instead of changing the story, it just keeps reinforcing the same one. Catherine as the graceful royal, Meghan as the frustrated outsider. And if that wasn't bad enough, Harry's alleged sulking only made it worse. For Harry, Forest Lodge isn't just a house, it's a symbol of everything he's lost. According to insiders, he's been spiraling into what they call resentment mode. Friends say he constantly replays old conversations and decisions, like a broken record. What if we stayed? What if we hadn't burned so many bridges? What if we just waited? The what-ifs are endless, and none of them bring him peace. The cruel irony, while his brother William is quietly moving forward, building a legacy, raising his family, and now settling into a historic estate, Harry is stuck across the Atlantic, narrating his frustrations to whoever will listen. Meghan may be scripting redemption arcs, but Harry is allegedly trapped in regret. And the worst part? Forest Lodge came with no drama, no lawsuits, no backlash. William didn't have to beg the press for sympathy or chase Netflix deal. He just signed the papers and walked away with public admiration. That's the exact lifestyle Harry once thought he was securing by leaving the monarchy. Instead, it slipped through his fingers, and now his brother is living it. For Harry, the estate is more than bricks and ivy. It's a scoreboard, a daily reminder that in the royal game he's not just losing, he's already out. But the final blow wasn't even the house itself, it was what the public made of it. In the end, Forest Lodge isn't just Catherine and William's new home. It's the ultimate symbol of victory in the quiet war of perception. The public sees stability, elegance, and a royal couple moving forward without drama. And every headline about Catherine's graceful glow-up only deepens the contrast with Meghan and Harry's endless noise. For Meghan, it's the nightmare she can't escape. The house she once dreamed of has become the crown jewel that slipped away. For Harry, it's work. Forest Lodge is a mirror, reflecting back everything he left behind. The prestige, the legacy, the approval that no Netflix deal or Montecito mansion can buy. The scoreboard couldn't be clearer. William and Catherine, settled, respected, thriving. Meghan and Harry, bitter, scrambling, and stuck in a narrative loop they can't seem to escape. And here's the truth Forest Lodge makes impossible to ignore. You can't build a fairy tale on envy. You can't win public trust by chasing headlines. And you can't rewrite history when the silence of your rival speaks louder than all your interviews combined. But now the question is for you. Has Meghan already lost the battle for public perception? Or can she and Harry still pull off a comeback before the world writes them off for good? Let me know your thoughts down below, because this story is far from over.